Imagine a serial killer stalking for 3 years, killing over 100 people, women, children, the elderly. It tears throats apart, crushes skulls, and then vanishes into the mist, leaving no tracks. The king sends his army. The best hunters in Europe stand helpless. Bullets have no effect on it. This is not a horror movie script. This happened for real in France in the 18th century. The official version speaks of a great wolf, but the witnesses who looked the beast in the eye saw something that was not of this world. What was the Beast of Gévaudan really? And why did it stop killing? Let us go back to June 1764, the province of Gévaudan in southern France, a mountainous, wild land full of dense forests and fog. 14-year-old Jeanne Boulet is herding sheep. It is a calm afternoon. Suddenly, the sheep begin to panic. The dogs, who usually defend the flock, tuck their tails and run away whining. Jeanne is left alone. It is not a wolf that emerges from the woods. It is a monster the size of a bull, with a stripe on its back and a muzzle that resembles a smile. The attack is lightning fast. The beast does not hunt for food. It hunts for destruction. When they find Jeanne's body, it is massacred. She is the first victim. Within a few months, the death toll rises to 10, 20, 50. Fear paralyzes the entire province. People barricade themselves in their homes before sunset because they know that this thing is intelligent. Wolves hunt in packs. They attack to eat. They aim for the legs to bring the victim down. The Beast of Gévaudan broke all laws of nature. It always attacked alone. It ignored livestock, cows, sheep, to throw itself straight at humans. Its tactics were terrifying. It aimed for the head. Witnesses spoke of a beast that severs heads with a single snap of its jaws. Survivors' descriptions were consistent, yet bizarre. They spoke of an animal with reddish fur, a black stripe on its back, a huge, bushy tail, and paws with claws like knives. But the worst were its eyes. A human gaze in the body of a demon. The monster could jump over 3-meter walls. It could stand on 2 legs. Was it a mutation? Or perhaps something worse? News of the massacre reaches Versailles. King Louis XV is furious. It is a slap in the face to his authority. In the land of the Enlightenment, in the heart of Europe, some animal is terrorizing his subjects? The king sends the army. Dragoons, the elite of the French military, ride into Gévaudan. The greatest hunt in French history begins. They organize beatings of the woods involving thousands of people. They comb every forest, every cave. They kill hundreds of ordinary wolves. But the beast mocks them. When the army is in the north, attacks happen in the south. When soldiers surround a forest, the beast appears in the center of a village, a dozen kilometers away. It looked as if the monster had spies, as if it knew exactly where the hunters were. 3 years pass. The king, humiliated by the lack of success, recalls the army. He announces a fake victory to save face. But in Gévaudan, the nightmare continues. The victim count exceeds 100. People lose hope. They are left alone in the darkness. The locals begin to understand that they are not fighting an animal, that this is a punishment from which there is no escape. And then when it seems that the darkness will swallow them all, one man enters the stage. Why did the king's best marksman miss? Why did dragoon bullets bounce off its fur like it was steel armor? The people of Gévaudan knew what the scholars in Paris did not understand. It wasn't an animal, it was the beast. Locals whispered, loup-garou, werewolf, or a demon sent by Satan himself to punish humanity for its sins. When the beast looked at a victim, they didn't run. They were paralyzed by an inhuman grave-like cold. Lead does not work on a demon. A demon requires something more. And here, emerging from the shadows, is Jean Chastel. He was no knight in shining armor. He was an outsider, a hermit whom people feared almost as much as the monster. It was whispered that he avoided the church, and in the forest, he spoke with something that could not be seen. So why was it he who stood to fight? Perhaps because to defeat a monster, you must carry darkness within yourself. On that day, June 19th, the forest held its breath. When the beast burst from the thicket, it didn't lunge for the throat. It stopped. It sat down. Its eyes, those terrifying human eyes, rested on Chastel. There was no fury in them. Was it recognition? Or perhaps expectation? As if the beast knew its executioner. As if they were bound by an old dark bond that the chronicles kept silent about. Chastel calmly loaded his weapon. There was no ordinary bullet in the barrel. It was a projectile cast from a melted down metal bearing the image of the Virgin Mary. But as the hunter moved his lips, was it the prayer of a saint? Or was it the desperate spell of a sinner seeking a last chance at redemption? Was it an act of pure faith? Or a sacrifice offered by an old ally? The roar of the gunshot tore the silence apart. The bullet struck straight into the heart. This wasn't a hunt. This was an exorcism. When the beast fell, no animal yelp escaped its muzzle. Witnesses swore they heard a human sigh of relief. Or perhaps a quiet, mocking laugh. The monster's body was paraded around the country, but it began to rot at an unnatural rate, emitting the stifling scent of sulfur, as if hell was claiming its own. It had to be destroyed. Nothing remained. No bone, no fur. And Jean Chastel? He never became a hero. He died in obscurity, taking the secret of that gaze to his grave. To this day in Gévaudan, when the fog descends on the moors, people ask themselves one question. Did good defeat evil that day? Or perhaps, did one evil simply devour another? Officially, the story ended. But evil does not vanish. It only returns to the shadows, waiting for another opportunity. Maybe the Beast of Gévaudan is still there, dormant in the old forests, waiting for us to forget about prayer and silver once again? Next time you enter the woods and feel a gaze on your back, do not turn around. Because some legends are hungry. That is all for today on Echoes of Legends. Turn off the lights and sleep well, if you can. If you are brave enough to hear the next story, subscribe to our channel and leave a like to keep the darkness away.